Hello, my beautiful mom friends. How are you guys doing? I'm dialing in from the hospital today for our conscious champagne chat number 23. And you can see here is my, for those of you who haven't heard, apparently, as you can see, well, I'm not going to zoom in, I'm not going to bother you, but there's something on my nose that apparently is affected and needs an antibiotic treatment. So I'm having antibiotics being put into my system. I'm actually doing really well. I'm not in pain or anything, but they just want me to be here because apparently when you have an infection in the nose, it can get very dangerous, which I didn't know. So I'm behaving, being the good girl, and staying here for a couple of days. But I didn't want to miss out on coming in and talking about, when our kids give us an attitude and what to do about it, what it means, and how we can react. So welcome to Conscious Champagne Chat number 23. Today, not at the usual time. I don't think they will allow me to go live at 10 p.m. in the hospital, so I'm kind of doing this during the day, and it's actually really beautiful. I'm like on the 12th floor with a beautiful Frankfurt skyline. So, my friends, what do we do when kids show us an attitude? And today I'm actually going to start, I want to read you a post that I read in another group, which hopefully, which really got me to talk about this topic, because it really shows the attitude we have towards our kids. And because of that, you should never be surprised when your kids show you an attitude, whether that is through back talking or rolling their eyes or whatever. So let me read you that post and then I'll get started. So there's a mom writing, any tips on how to deal with mousy, disrespectful kids? My 6 and 7-year-olds have developed terrible attitudes lately. They are constantly talking back to my husband, and I am blaming everyone else for their actions. So I want you to pay attention. The mom is saying that, the mom is basically saying that the children are blaming everyone else for their actions. Hang on a second. So Hinley. Okay. Sorry, I'm not behaving, as you can see. The nurse just came in and said, you have to put your hand down. All right, so I'm putting my hand down. Okay, so she's saying they're constantly talking back to my husband and I and blaming everyone else for their actions. I'm also busy with a 4-year-old and a newborn and do not have much patience with my older kids when they are misbehaving. They also have gotten mousy with my mom, which is not okay. Some days I feel like I'm failing and that my kids are going to turn out terrible. So I want you to just pay attention to the tone of that whole post. The tonality of that post is, I'm frustrated, I'm helpless, I don't have any ownership, no accountability. I can tell from just the way she's writing the post, of course her kids are going to have an attitude towards her, because quite frankly, the tone she has is like, she's not taking responsibility. She's not taking ownership for her own feelings and her own behavior. And she very clearly blames other people. And this is the problem when we do not have ownership for our own feelings. We tend to blame it on others, and we expect all the other people to fix the things for us. And with expectations comes problems, my friends. The other thing is, she clearly sees herself as the authoritarian in the relationship, right? And we do that by default because that's what we've been taught. That's what we've been raised. We as kids had to be respectful to our parents. And if we weren't respectful, right, we got in trouble. And so now that we're the adult in the relationship, we think our kids own us that respect. So we expect them to talk in a very certain way to us. But here's the thing, you guys. They really don't. They don't. I really want you to understand that. Your kids can literally be mean to you. They can be naughty. They can be back-talking. You can't. We have zero control over that. And the more you try to fight it, the more you try to fix it, the more they're going to do it. And so, yes, they can behave in disrespectful ways. The question is, how do you react to that? How do you show up for yourself? And how much of that do you tolerate in a loving, compassionate way? And so the reason we get these things wrong is because we basically say, okay, don't tolerate this behavior. It's either this or it's either we use the black and white methodology. We use the good or bad methodology, and that's where the problem comes, because you are yourself coming from a place of wounding, and you can't stand it that people don't, like, your children don't respect you. We put all these expectations on them, and that's when we're literally in an emotional tug of war. That doesn't work. So when your kids backtalk, when your kids show you a terrible attitude, the very first thing you have to understand, it usually means there's a lot of unresolved frustration. And so think about how much power kids really need. Power. They want to feel like powerful human beings. That's why they love to run around in superhero capes and all that stuff. And think about like how little power they actually have during the day. There's wherever you go, there's rules, always. School rules. They always have to obey. They have to follow the rules in school. And so then they come home, maybe they have something on their agenda. They have to go here, they have to do this, they have to behave like this, they have to do that. They're constantly rules all over the place. And because they're in that system all day long, they literally don't have power. So who are they going to let out their frustration on? You. Because actually, if you start looking at it by how amazing is it that they can show their frustration, it really means they feel safe around you. They know you love them and you're not going to leave them. And so that's the very first thing to understand. The second thing is, don't take it personal. It has nothing to do with you. And I know that's a very hard part, because I can tell you, when we have tough conversations with my son, he like rolls his eyes, he does this, like, ugh, or he literally like puts his hands over his ears, and he just is like, I'm not listening. And I remember in the past, there would be a flame rising in my breast. Like, I hated it so much. It brought up all this, like, why are you not listening? Why are you being so disrespectful to me, right? Or my daughter, literally, she will say, you can't make me eat dinner. And it's true. I cannot make her. This is where, when kids feel powerless, this is where they start battling. They start battling over brushing your teeth, eating, because you can't make them. And they know that. So just know they feel extremely powerless. And they don't always know how to express their big feelings. So that's why they do it in a way that it feels like it's hurting you. And it is us that need to show them how to show you deal with your big feelings without hurting other people. But the reality is, most of us can't do it ourselves, because think about you. When the emotion takes over, you literally turn into that 5-year-old. And the 5-year-old inside of you is taking over. So it goes back to you starting to look at you. When your kids are showing you an attitude, what is really going on inside of you? What is it bringing up in you? What kind of feelings is it bringing up in you? You have to resolve those. You have to clear those. And then you can show up for your kids, holding that space and saying, I know you really want to roll your eyes at me right now, because it is painful to have this conversation. I get it. And then you just zip it. You don't say anything, you guys. I tell you, 95% of the problems I solve with my kids by reaffirming how they feel, saying, I get it, you want to do whatever you're doing right now, like rolling your eyes, and then I shut up. I literally bite my tongue to not say anything, and then let them come to you. Let them come up with the ideas. They can do it. You just have to be. Not do. You just have to be and endure it. So I hope that was helpful. I will be back here tomorrow, probably around, midday at some point again. And then another topic that is very much on my heart is guilt. Guilt is the most useless emotion. And I really want to talk about why guilt is a useless emotion and how it's not helping you solve anything and what to do with it. All right, my friends, I will be seeing you tomorrow, and I have a feeling there's I can't see any comments. So if you commented anything, I'll go back and check. Thank you. Bye.